Hello everyone, I'm Hui Lin.
Hi guys, I'm Yi Heng. So today we are going to discuss a few things that you might not be aware of in today's digital age, where the virtual world seems to be much more exciting and interesting than the real world. So before we dive into them, let me just show you guys a video. By the way, Hui Lin hasn't actually watched this video before, so I didn't show her anything. So I'm quite excited to see her reaction now. Right. So let me share my screen right now. It's a part from the Netflix documentary, right? You can see the screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me play this video.
Humans come in all shapes and sizes, but science says we're drawn to certain people for specific reasons. Take a close look at the following 6 faces. You'll be asked to select the most attractive. Watch again as we replay their faces a few times. Time to pick which face you think is most attractive. So, who do you choose?
So, which one will you choose, Helen?
Just pick one, right?
Yeah, pick one. The most attractive one.
Okay. I think it should be number 4.
Okay, number 4. Okay. We'll continue watching. Let's see.
According to research, most people will select face number 4 for one simple reason: familiarity. We humans are more attracted to faces our brains are familiar with, and we showed you this human's face for 11 seconds compared to an average of 5 seconds for each of the other faces.
So familiarity breeds attraction?
Try putting that on a Valentine.
Yeah, that's the video. All right. Okay, let us go back to our discussion. All right. So the video I played just now is actually from a Netflix TV series called 100 Human. As they explain, the repetition and also familiarity plays a big role in influencing our thoughts and also our decision. Just now, really subconsciously, your attention was directed to the lady because of seeing her more times. And this brings us to the first topic of today, which is the illusory truth effect. And if you look at the first 2 words, illusory truth, is pretty straightforward, just like optical illusion. Optical illusion is a trick to our eyes, but this effect is a trick to our mind. It's becoming more and more common today that we are tricked to believe in certain things that are probably not true or yet to be proven. And when we are constantly exposed to a piece of new information shared by everyone everywhere, there's a high chance that we are going to believe it is true, all right? Because we are so familiar with it to the point that we won't even doubt it. Right, Hui Lin?
Yes. I agree with that because when something is repeated many times, right, we tend to believe the information even if the sources are not credible. So that actually the nature of human is that we are all lazy. So we want everything quick and simple. So that's why we easily believe in the things said by the people around us rather than to Google it ourselves. So for example, COVID vaccines. I noticed there are a lot of people are comparing between the vaccine brands. Some will say, oh, Sinovac is the best. Some will say, no, Pfizer has higher efficacy, right? So if I don't go and check the fact myself, I would probably believe that, Sinovac is better because everyone is saying the same thing over and over, and we can't ignore it when something is repeating, right? And it is like when you are listening to the same song again and again, you can literally sing a song without looking at the lyrics. So yeah, I think the illusory truth effect also exists in political propaganda, right? What do you think?
Yeah, obviously it does. All I can say is that this effect can be seen everywhere around us, as you mentioned, in politics as well. There is this propaganda tactic I found out online, saying that some country leaders like Trump and Putin, they actually use this propaganda to promote their ideology. It is called the fire hose of falsehood. It is somewhat similar to the idea of illusory truth effect, where the politician will fire hose their ideology and viewpoint to the public in a high volume and across multiple channels. So, something I find really interesting is that they actually don't care about the credibility and also the believability. They actually don't care how many people believe in them, because the reason why is they have power. If you have a better position in the society, I believe you really just own the reality. You can do everything you can to give alternative facts and every evidence to actually prove whatever you say is the real truth. And I believe this is a serious problem we have right now today in the world. So remember last time we have a hot debate about whether or not the earth is flat. And that time everybody has their own version of truth, right? So we can't tell whether or not their truth is actually the real one, or they're actually following the others. So I would say many people on the internet nowadays that actually expect us to follow their belief, expect us to believe that they are actually the right one. Right? Have you experienced something like this before, Eileen?
Yes, I think if I have a particular belief in anything, I'm going to see more and more people talking about that thing that I like or I agree with. And this is creating polarization on social media and consequently in our real life, because people only want to see the things that they want to see and not seeing the opposing opinions. And I think now the big change is that now speech isn't just you and me talking. It's you and me talking in a way that I can get the most likes for what I say, and you are just a tool that I'm using to get more likes. So for example, Twitter, they have the retweet button. So if I say something that are likely to offend or maybe upset people, then someone else who agree with me will retweet and share. So my anger can actually reach to thousands or even millions of people in a single day. So
Yeah.
we can see now social media platforms are now built for engagement, and the things that attract people to engage will actually end up appearing at the top of the other people's newsfeed.
Right. It is like everybody now is living in their own bubble, the news bubble. You are not really getting the news now. You're getting your news, your kind of news. So I believe this is the main cause for a divided society, just like what you have said just now, the like button. Those likes are actually the little contribution to the big issue, the polarization issue. And the likes on social media are actually like a positive feedback and acknowledgement to ourselves that will make us feel like, oh, we are actually saying the right thing. Some other people, they actually believe in us and support us. So this is actually indirectly pushing us to the extreme, right? Because we will have less contact and collaboration with the opposite side. So this will actually makes us even more narrow-minded and aggressive. For example, if you look at the American society, they are actually considered one of those polarized society where we can see a clear division between the blue states and also the red states, where we can see supporters of the Democrats and also supporters of the Republican, right?
Yeah, to me, right, I think picking which side to support is actually fine, and it is good for democracy, like a balance of power. But it will become an issue if it goes to the extreme, like hatred or violence are more than trust and respect in a society.
Yeah. I believe this is mainly because of the social media, the technology we have right now, right? Do you think so, Hiti?
Yeah. Okay. So when we talk about social media, right, most people will say, oh, it is a tool for them, right? Because we need it to connect with our friends, to run a business, so on and so forth. But I think one of the points that actually made up my mind from the Netflix documentary of the social dilemma is that social media is not a tool. Yeah, the reason is that if something is a tool, it actually just sitting there and wait patiently until we use them. So for example, like a hammer, it is a tool for us because we will use it when we need them. But for social media, it is not a tool because it is demanding things from us and it's manipulating us. And instead, it has its own goals, which is using psychology against us, which makes us addicted to it. And I think we are addicted to social media is because of the tricks that the company added to the social media. Once I'm trapped in a circle of infinite scrolling, social media apps don't want me to look up. So that's why you can see their feeds are designed to be endless, right? I can scroll and scroll and scroll for more interesting content. And another thing is the like button. I think the like button, it utilizes both of my desire for social validation and also my desire to see the score. So I often check out my post to see how many likes I have, and that's really, really addictive.
True. I think social media brings us more than just addiction. They also contribute to misinformation and also disinformation. Both of these are actually the same, almost the same. It is about spreading fake news, but one is accidental and another one is intentional. So accidentally can be actually about sharing information without fact checking, and then intentionally will be sharing fake news on purpose, meaning they have a purpose maybe to mislead or just direct those audience to another direction. right? So we all know the impact of fake news, right? It actually creates fear and also cause social issue like stereotypes and also cyberbullying. It's quite common right now, especially when the news reported is actually biased and unfair. So here we actually have a few solutions, I believe, that can actually curb this fake news from spreading. The first one I would say is actually for us to avoid sensationalist media and stick to the official. So you can see on the internet, we have a lot of unofficial news page and also group, and they tend to actually exaggerate the news or give a interesting, exaggerated headline just to get more engagement. So I believe we should actually look out for this platform and try not to trust them completely. Because if you trust those news page, maybe subconsciously or unknowingly, we will be sharing a fake news. So I believe the most effective way yet to actually curb the fake news from spreading is actually to practice a habit of fact checking. So you can go to one of the Malaysia website, which is called sebenarnya.com. And on this website, you can actually check whether or not the piece of news you saw online is actually credible, is actually accurate. And if you are not sure whether or not whatever you are reading is the truth, you can actually send or upload the news to the portal, and then the authorities will actually check for you. So what's your suggestion, Hui Lin?
I think it's never too late to control ourselves from all this negative impact, and we should actually do something to develop a healthy relationship with our devices. So to me, in order for me to avoid being addicted to the social media thing, I will actually limit my screen time and also turn off my notifications during work.
Yeah, same. I will do that too, because especially when I'm doing assignment, because if I don't turn on the focus mode on my phone, I will get easily get distracted by those notifications. So normally I will do that. If not, really I will get my time wasted. All right. So today we have covered quite a lot of topic. At the beginning, we have actually talked about the illusory truth effect, and then polarization, and then at the end we talk about social dilemma. And just now we have briefly also introduced some of the impacts, and also we have come up with some solution to those impacts. So that are basically the end of our discussion, right? So we'll see you all next time lah. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.